What about IU basketball jerseys? Since they're nameless, they only have numbers. They only have numbers.
Category. We're going to have that discussion one of these days, because that is one of my biggest pet peeves in all of sports, is the colleges that don't put the names on the back of the jerseys. I absolutely hate it. It is such, I know it's tradition and all. I hate it as a consumer of tons of sports. I hate when I'm watching a game and somebody makes a play, and instead of being able to say, "Oh, that's John Smith," oh, okay, so I can look him up and where's he from, and all I can look up is, oh, that's number one. That drives me nuts. I think it's a disservice to the athlete and to the consumer, and I'm not a fan.
Why they used to do it? Because they claimed they didn't want to quote unquote exploit the athletes by.
Oh gosh,
they wanted to sell programs, man.
Yeah,
to sell programs. There you go. And the funny thing about that is, and I use this stat a lot in basketball to try to convince everybody who doesn't do it that they're in the wrong. There has been we're now up to, I think,
1986,
33 years,
1988,
Kansas, because Kansas they had this odd dichotomy where you had your name on your jersey at home, but not on the road, and they were the 6 seed playing 1 seed Oklahoma. So in the championship game, they did not have their names on the back of the jerseys. Before that, it was IU in 87. So you have to go all the way back that far to find an NCAA men's basketball champion without the names on the back of the jersey. So warning to all those who continue to obey that tradition, that's keeping you out of the winner's circle.
Oh, that was a good comment by Tony Stuckey. I met him at the tailgate. Really nice guy.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I'm so over the tradition thing. That's a load of crap. It's a load of tradition it's a tradition only because they just simply haven't done it. It's not a tradition. If it was a tradition, they wouldn't do it in football. They do it in football because it's necessary. And I'm so over. I'm just so over it. It's dumb. It makes no difference to me if their name's on the jersey. I couldn't care less. That does not affect their play, does not change anything. And it's a lot better for casual viewers, for TV viewers, for everything. And it's pointless. And I think the players prefer that.
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are busting their butts, putting in the hard work. So they should have more say than anybody.
I do. I haven't heard this discussed at all, but I wonder if in an NIL world, a name, image, and likeness world, whether that's an issue, like whether athletes are going to say, look, how do I capitalize on my NIL if all I am is a number? Maybe that becomes an issue. And so more teams go away from that. I don't think there's any grand tradition there. The candy stripe pants.
Yes.
Martha the Mop Lady singing down the hall, all that stuff, man, that is tradition. The no names on the back of the jerseys, not buying that.
No, and I asked this question to someone. I said, let me ask you this. If you had 3 jerseys up there with the number 11 on there, and one of them had Thomas on the back, and you had a number 3 or 2 number 3s, and one had Edwards on the back, and you had 2 40s, and one had Cheney on the back, which of those jerseys are going to sell more? The blank 40 or the Cheney 40? The blank 11 or the Thomas 11? The blank 3 or the Edwards 3? Every time, I guarantee you, the named jerseys are going to sell over the nameless jerseys.
Yeah, that's definitely true. That's something that that again, former athletes can sort of start to pay them back a little bit, especially now with NIL. They could do that. It'd be nice to see. I would like just about everybody. I would like everybody to make that change, because I do think it's better for the athlete, better for the viewer. I'm all for it. And again, I am all for tradition. I love tradition in college sports. I did a thing a year ago that sort of got revisited last week when the opening of college football season, and everybody was excited to see Wisconsin do the Jump Around song. And that video got really shared. And I had written an article last fall about the best of those circumstances. And named Virginia Tech, Enter Sandman, with Metallica as the number 1 stadium song, and Jump Around, I think, was number 3, something like that. Those things are great. They're wonderful for college sports, pro sports. the Steelers with Renegade, playing that in the fourth quarter when they need a big defensive stop. I mean, let me tell you, when they have a game, hopefully, they're in a circumstance where they can play it on Sunday, and the fans will go crazy for that, because a chance to participate in that tradition that they have for so many years but didn't get to a year ago. That's really cool. But the name on the back of the jersey, again, that's never struck me as a true tradition.
Yeah, the William Tell overture at Indiana games is pretty cool. The one at the third quarter, that's a pretty neat. I think that's a pretty neat tradition.
I got to say, we just got a comment from Sam, and I'm not sure whether we want to read it out loud, but let me tell you, I love it.
I started laughing when I saw it. Yeah. He says, you want to get an 11 with Thomas on it, so you make no mistakes that it's not Dockett's or another former number 11. So there you go. Now, Forrest said, if you can't remember,
north, he's not
there. You go. Up north, east. Forrest says, now, if you can't remember 13 names, you're not a fan. I don't think it has anything to do with that. It goes so far beyond that.
It's not about the Indiana fans, the people who are Indiana fans. It's about the people who are playing Indiana against Indiana and say, wow, who was that guy? Or also, who might become Indiana fans? Who see the team and they don't know who any of the players are, because
it makes pictures better. It just makes everything better.
Absolutely.
I mean, I would, that picture of AJ Moye blocking Carlos Boozer in 2000 and
2002.
The names on the back, that makes it better to me. I mean, because it just that's just one of my favorite all-time sports pictures ever. But it just that Muhammad Ali standing over Sonny Liston. Those are just some of my greatest sports photogs.
Indianapolis native Oscar Robertson with the split after the rebound. How about that one? Still can't figure out how that happened. No idea how anybody could do that, let alone how it happened in the game. But it's an amazing picture.
One of the greatest ever, and it's how 50, 60, 70 years old, or no, 60 something years old. That picture probably,
yeah,
crazy, nuts. I know we talk about jersey. The only jersey I would wear, I meant to say this, is Roy Kent. So you have to watch Ted Lasso to know who that is. But I would wear Roy Kent's jersey. That's the only jersey I would wear.
I will say that I cannot see him on the screen without laughing. That character is so beautifully written and so beautifully performed. If you haven't,
are you talking about Roy Kent?
Yes, Roy Kent.
I can't either. I mean, he didn't even have to say a word, and he
exactly. He comes on the screen, and I start to laugh.
I guarantee it.
And I wondered about this, and I looked it up yesterday. There was a soccer player named Roy Keane who played for Manchester United. He was from Ireland, and who was a notorious. He was notorious for his temper, and even wound up leaving or being removed from the Ireland World Cup team in 2002, just before it happened, because of some sort of tete-a-tete with the management of the Ireland team. I mean, it was, and so when I watch, I'm like, is that where it came from? Is that where the inspiration for Roy Kent came from? And according to Google, it does seem to be the case. I've not seen it addressed by either of the two creators, but it does seem like that's where the idea for the character came from. But obviously, the actor who plays Roy Kent has taken it and elevated it. It is,
man.
If you're a fan of the show, if you're not a fan of the show, I highly encourage you to at least get Apple TV long enough to watch all of the episodes. We're up through, I think, 8 episodes of season 2.
That's the last ones. That's of the season 2, I think.
Is that the last one?
I think.
Gosh, I could take them all, right?
I thought there was a lot more last year.
Yeah, I thought there were 10, but maybe there were only 8. It's been a while. Everything, all the counting got thrown off in the pandemic. But if you haven't seen it yet, it's a fabulous show and highly recommended.